Everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to cut and sew this Kaftan Bubu dress. If that's something you're interested in, keep on watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please make sure you watch the video till the end. So guys, this is the material that I'll be using to make the kaftan dress. Then I'll be using this satin for the center part of this kaftan dress. I'll set this aside, then we start working on our kaftan dress. The first thing I'm going to do is to measure out the length of my dress. So for the length of this dress, this person is on the very tall side. I'll be using 63 inches length because she wants it to be very long so that it can cover her shoes. So I'll firstly measure out my 63 inches length. Now I'll measure the 63 length into two. The first 63 inches length for the front and the other 63 inches length for the back. I already went ahead to fold this into two. So this is the full length. As you guys can see, it's folded into two like this. So we have the front and the back. Now what I'm going to do next is to fold it again like this. So this is folded into four because we're cutting both the front and the back piece together. And remember, when you are folding, make sure you fold it on the wrong side so that you can have your chalk on the wrong side instead of you having your chalk on the right side. So now what I'm going to do is to start taking out the measurement. I'll start by taking out the shoulder measurement. In order to get the shoulder measurement, in this video I'll be making use of all the length of this for the shoulder because we'll be cutting the shoulder and the sleeve together. In case you don't know how to take this shoulder measurement, what you're going to do is to divide your shoulder measurement by 2. Then after dividing your shoulder measurement by 2, you're going to measure out the length. So for this, we want the sleeve length to end at the elbow. So you're going to measure from your shoulder to your elbow. So you're going to mark it down. So from my shoulder to our elbow is 13 inches. And then I'll be adding 1 inch allowance to it. And that is all that we have here. Now that we have gotten the shoulder measurement, the next measurement we'll be working on is the vertical measurement. So I'm going to start off by measuring from our shoulder to our bust point, which is 11 inches. Our shoulder to our waist is 17 inches. Then from our shoulder to our hip measurement is 26 inches. So I'm just going to use my ruler to draw a straight line on it. So we start taking the measurement. So for the bust measurement, we're going to divide your bust measurement divided by 4. This person's bust is 42. Divided by 4, it's 10.5. So I'm going to mark that down. I'll be adding 2 inches for ease. So I'll be adding 2 inches for ease. And then 1.5 inches for allowance. And that's what we have here. So 2 inches for ease and then 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. And then I'll come to the waistline. Our waist measurement is 38 inches. 38 inches divided by 4, it gives us 9.5. On this waistline as well, I'll be adding 2 inches for ease. Remember, this dress does not have any zip. So make sure you add your allowance for ease. 2 inches for ease and then 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. And that's what we have on the waist. Then I will come to the hip line. Her hip measurement is 45. So 45 divided by 4 is 11.2. Then don't forget 2 inches for the ease and then 1.5 inches for the allowance. So now I'm going to connect these 3 points together. I'm going to join the waistline, the bust line, the waistline, and the hip line together. So this is what I have. Now for the length of my bubu, whatever measurement that you have here on your hip line, you measure same thing, because remember this is a straight bubu. So I have 15 inches here. So I'm going to measure my 15 inches all the way straight to the end of the bubu. This is what we have. So for the neck width, I'll be using 4 inches for my neck width. And then remember, we are cutting both the front and the back piece together. As you can see, it's on fold. So we'll be cutting both the front neckline and the back neckline together as well. So for the neck width, it's 4 inches. And then for the neck depth for the back is 1.5 inches. And then for the neck depth for the front, I'll be using 8 inches. So the back depth is 1.5 inches, and then the front depth is 8 inches. So for the front depth is V shape. We are using V shape for the front shape. And then for the back neckline, we'll be using round shape. So this is what we have. So we have the back neckline and the front neckline. So now that we have the neckline, we have everything on the fabric. Before we cut it out, we're going to come to this chest line here, and then we come in here by 1 inch, just by 1 inch. We come in here by 1 inch. And then on this point here, you cannot leave it sharp like this. So just use your free hand to curve it a bit like armhole shape. So you just curve it a bit like this, just like this. And now that we have this one, we're going to slant this back into the shoulder like this. So you're just going to slant it a little bit like this. So you're going to have something like you just slant it a little bit into your shoulder, just like this. And then we start cutting. And for the neck area, please do not cut on the front neckline. You are only cutting on the back neckline. So for the pocket on this dress, I'm going to come down on this waistline. I'm going to come down by 1 inch. This is totally optional. If you want pockets on your kaftan dress, you come down on your waistline by 1 inch, and you're just going to place a notch on it. But if you don't want pockets, that is totally fine. But this client wants pockets on her own dress. Now that we have notched the pocket area, the next thing we are going to do is to notch on this neck width. We're going to place a notch on this neck width. Just like this. So now I'm going to open this up so we can have the front separate and the back separate. So what you're simply going to do is just to open it up like this. So now that we have the front and the back piece separately, so we come to this front neckline and then we measure out 2 inches. So you come to your bust line, you measure out 2 inches. Your waistline, you measure out 2 inches. Your hip line, you measure out 2 inches. So you continue like that till the end of the front piece. And then you use your stretch ruler to connect it together. So I will extend my 2 inches to this 8 inches neckline that we have earlier. To this 8 inches V that we have earlier. So I'll extend my 2 inches to that 8 inches. So now the next thing to do is to connect this to this V here. So you're going to connect this V back to these 2 inches. So you're going to take your straight ruler and then connect it like this, starting from that notch that we have earlier from the neck width. So we're going to do that same thing and just connect it like this. So now that we have this, what you're going to do next is just use your hand to curve it a bit so it doesn't look too sharp. So you just connect it with your hand like this. And then the next thing to do is to cut it out. So I will come to this, our 8 inches for the neckline. In case you are confused, you can measure it again. So I'm just going to place my tape measurement from the shoulder line and then measure out my 8 inches. And after that, I'm going to place a notch on it. So now that we've notched down our 8 inches, the next thing to do is to start measuring from your back neckline, from this back neckline. You measure it out. You measure from there. But here's the thing, when you are measuring this part, you need to be very careful. Make sure your tape is properly placed on the neckline. So you measure it like this, like this. So from the back neckline to the front neckline, we have 13 points, let's say 30.8. So you mark it down like this, and then you continue from that 13.8 all the way to the end of your bubu. So as you can see, what I have here is 69.5 inches. So you're going to cut out 69.5 inches of your bridal satin. So now we're going to cut this satin. We're going to make sure it's as long as the 69.5 inches that we measured earlier, and then the 2 inches that we cut from the front area the other time, we make sure we replace it back. So we have 4 inches here, but in this case I'll be measuring out 5 inches. I'll make sure the wideness of this satin is 5 inches because of the ½ inch sewing allowance, and then the length will be as long as 69.5 inches. So guys, I went ahead to cut this piece. I make sure it's long enough for my front and the back. So the material I bought initially was not enough. Luckily for me, I have these pieces at home, so I added it to this one that I bought earlier. So now I set this aside. I also went ahead to cut these 2 pieces to tape the hem of my sleeve. So this is just to tape the end of the sleeve. So here I have 3.5 inches because I'll be using ½ inch to sew it in like this, and then I will use ½ inch to fold this outside, and then I'll top stitch on it. But I'll definitely show you guys how to do it later. So the next thing for me to do is to go and iron my stay, your interfacing or anything that you have onto this. I'm going to join this to be very, very long, and then I will iron my interfacing to it. So guys, I went ahead to join the piece together. As you guys can see, it's very long, and I also went ahead to iron my interfacing to it. So the next thing to do is to get the center of this, the midpoint of this. So I'm just going to fold this into 2 equal parts. And then I'm going to notch the center of it like this. So this is the center of it. Now we're going to go back to the fabric itself. And then I'm going to get the center of the back neckline. Then I'm going to notch it as well. Now the next thing to do now is to place the center of this on the center of this. I'm just going to open this up. So now that I have opened this up, I'll place this band on this. So I'm going to place the center of this together with the center of this, with the right side facing each other. So I'm just going to use my pin to hold them together. Then I will continue tracing it like this, using my pin to hold them together. So as you guys can see that we place a notch on this V, the neck area, the other time. So I'm going to stop pinning my band on this. I'm going to stop here because I want to place a notch at where this one stops. I'll be placing the notch on this white band as well. So I'm just going to fold it. Make sure it's the same place where you place your notch on the fabric, and then you're going to place your notch on the band now. So make sure you place your notch on the band as well, just like this. Just like this. So I'm going to repeat same thing on this other side. So I'm also going to place the notch on this other side as well. Where I place the notch on the fabric, I'm going to place the notch exactly where it is on this band as well. Now that we've gotten the notch on the both sides, I'm going to remove the pin and separate the band from the fabric. So now I'm going to set this fabric aside and then work on the joining of the band. So now what you are going to do is that notch that you have earlier and this notch, you're going to open this up and then you make sure that when you iron your hairstay into your satin, you fold it into two to get this gaiter. So now the notch that you have earlier, the center of it, and then the notch for the other side, you're going to fold this into two like this. And make sure that your notch is facing each other like this. So I'm just going to use my pin to hold them together. I will also hold the other side as well. Make sure you arrange it properly. Now, what you are going to do is this. The next thing to do is make sure that your notch, you get the center of it. This is your notch and this is your notch. So you come to the center of your notch and mark it down like this. And then you're going to take this to your sewing machine and then run a straight stitch. You follow your gaiter like this. I hope you guys can see clearly. So where the neckline stop, the V neckline stop, you're going to start your stitching from there and go all the way till, so you go all the way till your desired length. For the front slit, you're going to stop, depends on how open you want the slit to be. That is when you're going to stop. So you run a straight stitch from that V, from this V notch that you have earlier. You run a straight stitch all the way to where you want your slit to be, where you want your slit to start from. That is where you're going to stop. So you're going to run a straight stitch like this and then I will show you guys what I have after. So guys, this is what I have after joining them together. And this is the slit. This is the front slit. This is how open I want the front slit to be. And then I join the center together and then the neck area. So now I'm going to join this together with my fabric. So guys, now that I have opened this up, I'll place the center of this collar to the center of this bubu with the right side facing each other. So I'm just going to place it right on top of each other like this. Use my pin to hold them together. We keep folding like this all the way to the end. I will also use this to tape the sleeve area. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place it the right side facing the wrong side. So the right side of this satin facing the wrong side of the fabric. I will run a straight stitch on it like this, and then I'll flip it to the right side and top stitch on it. So I'm going to do that, and I will also run a straight stitch to secure the band together with the bubu. So guys, here is what it looks like after joining everything together. This is the slit. This is the opening in the front. This is the neck. This is the neck area. And also I went ahead to attach it to the sleeve like I told you guys earlier that I'll be using the satin to turn the sleeve area. So this is what we have. So now we are almost done. The next thing to do is to flip this back to the wrong side. After joining everything, I'll go ahead to overlock this rough edges that you guys are seeing. I will overlock it round. So now I'm going to fold this like this, and then I will take it to the sewing machine, and then the allowance that I had, which is my 1.5, I will stitch it all the way. Then when it comes to this waistline that we notched earlier, I will stitch it and leave this opening for my pocket. Then I will continue joining it to the end. So I'll repeat the same thing for the other side as well. And then I'll go ahead and fold the down part. So guys, here is what we have after joining the two sides together. I also went ahead to attach the pocket to the dress. So the last thing to do is just to add the buttons to it. So you guys can see how nice and neat this is looking. That's because I iron it. As I was stitching it, I was ironing it. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach the button to it, and then I'll show you guys the finished look. So guys, that's basically it about how to cut this Kaftan Bubu dress. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, turn on post notification bell so you get to know anytime I drop new videos. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.